Alright, I've been working on rover brains for a little while here, and I figured it's probably time to post an update. So this is a simulated rover. This is our battery pack, which is pretty big enough to run this thing for a few hours. And then we've got the Raspberry Pi, and we've got our AT&T modem, which is 3G only. And inside of my office, it's actually a pretty good simulation of a crummy signal, but once it's outside, it's super fast. It's almost like as if it's on a LAN. I'm actually going to show you in a second here. So, and then I've got the propeller activity board, which I don't know if that's actually going on the rover. It's kind of expensive to be left out in the desert, but we'll see. So, I'm just going to plug in the power here and turn it on, and the Raspberry Pi is going to boot up, and I'm going to post a tutorial on how to get the Raspberry Pi connected to the cellular network and all that good stuff, but I'm still kind of in a learning phase, and you'll see there's a few tutorials online, but none of them are going to be even close to mine, because for the most part they're dated and a lot of the stuff that they say doesn't work. And I've simplified things quite a bit. But anyway, when the Raspberry Pi first boots up, it's going to run a cron job to connect the AT&T 3G network. So that cron job actually runs once a minute. And if it's already connected, it's no big deal. It runs silently in the background. If it's not connected, it will reconnect. Now, the next problem from there is, how do we talk to the propeller? Because you can't forward ports. See, we got a little blue light here. That's about how long it took to boot up and connect to 3G. So, how do we talk to the Raspberry Pi when it's out in the field? Because you can't just get this thing's IP address and do anything with that IP address. It's completely private. I talked to AT&T. They said, it's an extra monthly fee to to be able to talk to your modem, which obviously, it's for commercial use. So if you're making money off of it, that's one thing, but I'm not making any money off of this. So, I'm not willing to part with a monthly fee. And a big part of the reason why I'm doing this is because this little thing isn't costing me anything, and it's shared on the data plan that I already have that I've never even come close to using. You cannot put this on an unlimited data plan, by the way. They won't let you do it. But anyway, I have 10 gigs of data a month, and the most I've ever used was 2. And I think that's because I turned my Wi-Fi off or something. But anyway, so a few years ago, I dreamed of doing stuff like this, but I wasn't getting a 3G AT&T modem for no extra money a month, and then at the same time, I didn't have the Raspberry Pi and stuff like Parallax making their simple IDE, and a lot of this stuff is community driven, and it's really wild to be able to do something like this now, because it's really easy and it's inexpensive. So, rovers aside, this could be some kind of commercial product or whatever you want. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, and we're going to check out well, this is the rover side. Now we got to check out the local side. So just understand, this could be anywhere there's 3G coverage. So this could be on the other side of the country. As long as there's 3G coverage and a good enough signal, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. So as far as the rover goes, yeah, I'm rambling again. All right, let's check out the PC side of things. Alright, so the first thing that happens when the rover boots up is the 3G modem connects. I ended up with LogMeIn Hamachi, which it has pros and cons, but it actually has more pros. This is the entire setup so far. So you're looking at, like 45, 46 steps. A few more steps for Hamachi. And then, you start getting into reverse SSH tunneling and SSL encapsulation and all that stuff and giving out certificates. And it's really not, that's a little bit too complicated, because LogMe and Hamachi gives you, for free, the ability to create a mesh network between 5 devices. And you can do all of your tunneling and everything. You can open chat sessions. So let's see, my home computer is going to be one. And then, my laptop, my field laptop will be another. The rover will be another, right? So that leaves me with 2 more that I could say. So if somebody else wants to do something with the rover, I could say, oh yeah, just install LogMe and Hamachi. And then we can, then you can log into the rover and do whatever you want. And I don't have to give out the password for VNC. I could just give out the password for the camera. And they could control the camera. I don't have to give out the SSH password either. So there's still a little bit of granular control there, even with LogMe and Hamachi. Even though it's going to put them on the same network as the rover, I still have a lot more control over it than I do with, say, certificates. Because I could go into any web browser in the world on any device and disable the LogMe and Hamachi network. So really, the only real risk with Hamachi would be if somebody was to get my password to log me in. And of course, if somebody does an invalid login on LogMeIn, I'm going to get emails and text messages about it. So it's really not a bad solution. I actually have not used LogMeIn I haven't used Hamachi in probably 10 years. And as I was sitting there weighing all the, the reverse SSH, or, just using like a third-party program to connect VNC and like all this other stuff, I started remembering Hamachi, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And it took me a while searching for like what did people use to play games online without forwarding ports and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, we're going to be using Hamachi for all of the trials from here on out. And I have a pretty good feeling it's going to work. It's very reliable. The Raspberry Pi is rebooted 100 times. So what can we do? Also, I moved the Raspberry Pi outside, so it's connected to 3G, and it's outside now. So let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna do a WinSCP session into the Raspberry Pi. I think that I don't know if I should show anybody the private Hamachi IP address, so hang on a second. It's probably going to say it somewhere, and I guess I could always change it, but okay, so now we're logging in. I can't move it into the frame. Okay, so this right here, okay, cool, there's no IP address or anything. So this right here is the Raspberry Pi, and we're connected to it over 3G using WinSCP, which is, like a SSH type of file transfer. It looks like when I installed Simple IE, I just left it in the downloads directory. Probably because I was like so excited to make an LED blink. But so this is one way that we could transfer a program. So I could open up Simple IDE locally on my computer, and I could save this file to, the local side. So I already have, my OneDrive folder here, defaulted here, and then I can just save this here and I can upload it to the rover. So you don't necessarily have to use VNC and type on the rover, and I think that would probably chew through 10 gigs of data pretty quick if you did anyway. So now on the SSH console side, we can do PuTTY. So here's PuTTY, and there's my IP address. So I'm obviously going to have to change that IP address at some point. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. So we're going to log in as Pi with the default password still. And you see, you can see it's pretty quick, right? That's not bad at all. Now the cellular link is going to be PPP0, and there's my WAN IP, which I could care less if anybody has that because it's going to change in 5 minutes. But anyway, you can get your RX bytes and TX bytes, and keep an eye on, that's just that one session. And then what was that? Oh boy. What was that command? One of the most important things this rover being out in the field is the received signal strength of the 3G modem. Because if we lose signal to the point where I have to drive out there, it's an automatic fail. Like, I don't care what else happens. If I have to drive out there because it was a signal, I'm just not going to be happy. So, crap. Yeah, I have to install another dependency, apparently, to get the RSSI. But that's not a big deal. So we'll just keep moving along here. Okay, so now we're going to go into VNC and pull up the rover in VNC. You'll notice that I have the colors cranked all the way down. This is oh boy. This is the crummiest connection quality setting that you can set it on, and the background of the Pi is actually white, and it shows up pink for some reason. So I've never noticed that before. Maybe we could try medium. So at least medium, I guess it's the number of colors really. I need to move that out of there, huh? So what was it called again? Simple ID. So you could log in and actually sit here and type your program, but see how annoying that is? Whew. Man, I can't wait to check the RSSI. So I had to reboot the Pi to change some display settings because I didn't really plan this video out. I'm just kind of doing stuff here. So we need to go back in here. Okay, and then we're gonna just see. Okay, so we got actually quite a bit of traffic already. The transmit. See, this is kind of the downside to coming in here and doing this, especially like when I move this window around. It's gonna use a lot of bandwidth. So ideally, I would just transfer the file through WinSCP or FTP or whatever. Actually, I think you can do it through Hamachi as well, and then compile it using, I forget already. There's something in there where you can do it from the command line. So that's, obviously what I would use. And let's see where it fits standard Linux. So it looks like device 2. That's where we are. Okay, cool. So here's our hello world over 3G. No. You know, did I turn the propeller on? Yeah, well, the propeller was off, so that explains what's going on here. Which is interesting because I was pretty sure it was device 4 or 2. So it's actually showing up. What the hell? It's definitely not USB 0. That's, oh, this is actually a good test. Let's see what happens if I try and access the... What? That doesn't make sense. The USB 0 device is my cellular modem. I thought if anything we would just get bumped off, but this doesn't... Oh. Okay, well, wait. Interesting. The cellular modem's 6, which doesn't even show up. But anyway, yeah, like I said, this is actually my first time screwing around with this. So, thanks for sticking with it. And, yeah, so that's it now. Because we came in here and did all this graphical stuff, I really want to see where our data usage is at right now. So we're already up to just over 4 megs over the cellular connection just to do a hello world. And also, I have a really good signal right here, so I don't even think, I'm not even sure this graphical stuff would work out in the field. If you have a good signal, sure. If not, forget about it. There's no way that you could come in here and do stuff like this. I mean, just if you want to uncomment about this section, you know, it's like bloop. Anyway, that's it. So we have the Raspberry Pi connected to 3G, and then everything is tunneling over Logmein Hamachi and running on batteries. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be using C, but I could basically use anything. You know, we could put like 6 different microcontrollers inside the rover on a USB hub and do whatever we want. So we could have any platform on there. And I probably will do a couple of them, but I'm not doing any cheap crap like just connecting an APM to it and having it do GPS waypoint navigations. I mean, I might try it just for fun, but that's not really the point of this. The point is to be able to get the robot out in the field somewhere and then be able to repurpose it for anything. So it could be cleaning trash on the side of the highway, it could be doing surveillance, security, you know, it could be doing environmental studies, it could be just data logging. It doesn't matter. I just want to be able to reprogram it once it's out there. I might not even program it before it's out there. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so that's pretty much it for now, and it's been a lot of fun, and like I said, a lot of this stuff that I did came from other people's tutorials. Lots of help out there on the web for this one, which is always appreciated. Always appreciated. So the next video will hopefully be of the rover moving. And then once the rover can move, we can throw some solar panels on it. We're up to 5.3 megs now. So yeah, we'll throw some solar panels on it and get the camera mounted. and then we have to figure out how to route the camera traffic through the Raspberry Pi Ethernet port, which really shouldn't be a big deal, I don't think. So we just have to create a static route on some, local port that redirects to the camera's IP address. So I hope I'm not being naive here, but that seems like it would probably be the easiest part of this project. And again, I will definitely be posting some kind of tutorial on how I got everything to work.